Do you know how many mass shooters there have been in America over the last 10 years?
Counting or not counting gang violence?
Great.
He was known for his voice, his courage, his relentless pursuit of justice. But yesterday, Charlie Kirk's story took a terrifying turn. Shot in broad daylight, this American activist's fight for change now hangs between life and death. But here's the question. Was this just a random act of violence? Or was it something far darker? He was answering a question in front of a crowd, calm and steady, the way he always did. One answer, applause. Then came the second question, and before he could speak, a crack split the air. A gunshot, a scream. America froze. Charlie Kirk, the activist whose voice never trembled, had just been silenced in the most violent way. But was this the end of his story, or the start of something far bigger? Don't forget to subscribe and like this video, because what you're about to hear may change the way you see this tragedy forever. Charlie Kirk's shooting wasn't random. Witnesses describe it like a scene from a nightmare. He stood on stage speaking truth when a bullet tore through the moment. Panic erupted, people ducked, chaos spread. Yet one detail makes it clear this wasn't a warning shot. It was meant to end him, and America wants to know who pulled the trigger and why. Here is the twist. The FBI has now released chilling footage. The suspect didn't just vanish into the crowd. He fled with precision, scaling a rooftop before disappearing into the woods. Cameras caught him wearing a t-shirt printed with the American flag and eagle, paired with a baseball cap pulled low over his eyes. This wasn't a random drifter. This was a man who planned his escape. The FBI isn't staying quiet. They've asked the public for help identifying the suspect. They've released his approximate age, his possible date of birth, and details from witnesses who swear they recognized him. America now holds its breath, waiting to see if someone will pick up the phone, call the tip line, and bring this suspect's freedom to an end. But let's step back. Who was Charlie Kirk, really? Born in a working-class family, Charles didn't have much. He grew up seeing neighbors lose their jobs, families broken by addiction, and communities ignored by those in power. Instead of turning bitter, he turned loud. He marched, he wrote, he rallied. And slowly, the young man from nowhere became one of the most recognized faces in American activism. He was fearless. He wore no mask, no disguise, no double life. He looked into cameras and said what others were afraid to whisper. That's why thousands followed him and why just as many wanted him gone. Charles used to laugh off the threats, saying, "If they come for me, they only prove my point." Yesterday, those words came true. Doctors now fight to undo what a single bullet tried to end. In the hospital, his family keeps watch, while outside, crowds gather with candles. Social media bleeds with grief. Hashtags climb. His face, his speeches, his warnings, they spread faster than ever. Charles once said, "I'm only a vessel." But now, his vessel has become a monument. Here's another twist. The suspect wasn't sloppy. He left no fingerprints, no phone, no trace. Only his clothes, his face half hidden, and his daring escape across that rooftop. The FBI says he may have been trained, possibly military, possibly extremist. They're not just chasing a man. They're chasing a ghost in broad daylight. But why target Charles? The answer may lie in the hours before the attack. Sources close to him revealed that Charles was preparing to release documents. Names, numbers, proof of corruption that could have shaken institutions. Was this why he was silenced? Did the shooter carry not just a gun, but the mission to keep those secrets buried? Trump said Charlie Kirk was a great guy from top to bottom, and asked people to pray for him, calling the shooting a dark moment for America. He described Kirk as a martyr for truth and freedom, and blamed the radical left for fueling hostility. He also said he spoke with Kirk's widow Erica, calling her devastated, and announced that Kirk would be posthumously awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom. Trump ordered flags lowered to half-staff in Kirk's honor. The public demands justice. Leaders issue statements. Streets buzz with theories. Some say it was personal. Others whisper it was political. But for most Americans, it doesn't matter who ordered it. What matters is that a man who spoke for the people was nearly destroyed in front of them. He announced that Charlie Kirk would be posthumously awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom, calling him a voice of truth and influence for young Americans. Trump framed it as the nation's highest way of honoring his legacy, saying that Kirk's courage and activism should never be forgotten. Charles's activism had always drawn enemies. He questioned power in ways that left scars. He once told a crowd, "They don't fear me. They fear what I make you see." Yesterday, that fear turned into a bullet. And now, every American is left asking, is the truth still safe in this country? Or is it hunted down in public squares? The FBI press briefing painted a picture of urgency. "We need the public's help," they said, showing the footage frame by frame. The man on the rooftop, the jump into the trees, the baseball cap, the American flag on his shirt, the eagle on his chest, a symbol twisted into violence. America stared at the screen and shuddered. Inside the hospital, Charles remains under heavy guard. His condition is critical but stable. Doctors say it's too soon to tell if he will make a full recovery. Friends and supporters pray, hoping his story doesn't end on a hospital bed. They want the ending to be different. They want him to rise again. But even if he survives, questions remain. Who sent the shooter? Was he acting alone? And more chillingly, what if he isn't caught? What if the man in the eagle shirt continues to walk free, blending into crowds, laughing at a nation scrambling for justice? The twist deepens. Some witnesses swear the shooter wasn't a stranger. They claim he once attended rallies, stood in the back listening. If true, Charles may have been betrayed not by an enemy from afar, but by someone who once cheered for him. Trust turned to treachery. Applause turned to silence. And that brings us here. A nation holding its breath. An activist in a hospital bed. An FBI manhunt racing against time. And a shooter who thought he could vanish, leaving only his flag, his eagle, and his shadow behind. But America doesn't forget. And America doesn't forgive. Charlie Kirk's story isn't just about one man. It's about every voice that dares to rise, every truth that refuses to hide. His blood is now ink, writing a chapter America never wanted to read, but cannot turn away from. So we ask, will justice be served? Will the man in the baseball cap be caught? Or will he walk free on this earth, laughing at the system, at the people, at the very freedom Charlie Kirk lived for? This isn't just a case. This is a test of America's promise. And until that man is found, Charles's silence will thunder louder than any speech he ever gave. Here is the final twist. The bullet tried to stop Charlie Kirk, but instead, it made him immortal. Whether in life or legacy, his voice is no longer just his. It belongs to every American waiting, watching, demanding justice. Have you seen the shooter? Stay updated.
Do you know how many mass shooters there have been in America over the last 10 years?
Counting or not counting gang violence?
Great.
Thank you, Governor. Bo Mason, Commissioner for the Utah Department of Public Safety. If you look up to the top left, you'll see the building where the shooter was proned out in the top left corner. We'll go ahead and play that video and I'll narrate as we walk through that. So here you see the suspect ran behind that upper